I had to wait. So is this where people got the narrative about Mary Kay being plugged in with the Haslams? I don't know. I'll say this. I think everybody plays the fool by just going based on what Mary Kay Cabot says. And that is what we highlighted. So we saw Debo and Joe. All of these people are citing Mary Kay Cabot. All of these people are citing Mary Kay Cabot. Oh, she's plugged in. She's not just going to write it. Even everything Skip went through, when does it get to football? When does it go based on performance? When does it go based on this guy gives us the best chance to win? Because to me, it seems like people are willing to throw away 5 games just for money with Deshaun Watson. So I listened to this and I'm like, dang, if you take everything Mary Kay Cabot says to the bank, when do you push back if she's wrong? I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. I was a little surprised by that by Skip, but Skip also coming from his background and being a journalist, he is using how he viewed journalism back then, and he's saying this is not her opinion, even though the decision maker said it's her opinion. Let's get to Cody Kessler, who has dealt with the Cleveland media. He's dealt with the Cleveland media. He has a different take because he actually played in Cleveland. Let's listen to his take.
Skip, I don't pay attention to these articles. I think at the end of the day, they're all just speculation because all that matters when it comes down to this quarterback competition is a decision that's going to be made with inside that organization. Whoever is in charge of making that decision, whether it's Todd Monken, Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, whoever has the most pull on this decision, I think they're going to let these guys compete, and then whoever gives the Browns the best opportunity to win games in 2026 is going to win that job. And right now, that decision hasn't been made. So in my opinion, it is still a wide-open quarterback competition. If you look at the reports coming out of Cleveland, both quarterbacks have gotten opportunities with the starting offense.
Exactly.
That tells me it's wide open. If Deshaun was going with the ones and Shedeur was going with the twos the majority of the time, then okay, then you could lead to believe this article and think that the speculation is true. But the fact that Shedeur started with the ones, then Deshaun gets some reps with the ones, and Shedeur's back with the ones, tells me that this is a wide-open quarterback competition. But with that being said, I could see this going either way. I could see either Shedeur or Deshaun winning this competition because I know last year Shedeur's numbers weren't great statistically, but remember, he fell all the way to the 5th round. He started out the season 3rd on the depth chart. That can be tough to overcome mentally, especially as a rookie quarterback, but he didn't let it get to him. He kept his head down. He kept working and preparing like a starter so that when he did get his opportunity, I thought he played well. And was it perfect? No. You're going to make some mistakes as a rookie, especially with the struggles that the Browns had at offensive line and at wide receiver. But I thought he showed flashes of what he can do in the NFL as a starter. And then when you look at Deshaun Watson, I know he struggled with injuries and his performance on the field the better part of the last 5 years, but he still is a proven quarterback in the NFL. And you mentioned it. He's by far the most experienced quarterback in that room right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a way to win this job as well. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, had a lot of success early on in his career in Houston.
He led the league in passing yards.
And that's true, Skip, but the biggest question with Deshaun is, can he duplicate that same success? Can he get back to being a fraction of what we saw early in his career? He hasn't been able to do that so far in Cleveland, even when he was healthy with a team around him. But at the end of the day, you know, this decision, and another thing with Deshaun too, I know you talk about the contract. Will that play a factor in all of this? Sure, you can argue that, but I don't think it should, Kenyon. I really don't. But if you're making a decision based on a dollar amount rather than talent on the field, then you're not only letting the players on the team down, you're also letting the fans down as well, because you're just putting a product out there that may not be best for their offense just because we owe them this type of money. And if this contract was a new contract and they just signed Deshaun Watson and we were going into this season on the 1st or 2nd year of this deal, fine. But it hasn't worked out the last couple of seasons. So in my opinion, I think Jimmy Haslam would be okay with saying, all right, let's cut out the dollar amount. I know we kept him on the roster because we owe him this type of money and we want to have a competition, but who's going to give us the best chance to win? We just spent draft picks on Fano. We just went and got Denzel Boston. We just got Casey Concepcion. We went out and signed multiple offensive linemen in the offseason. We are not doing, or we're doing a disservice to those guys if we put out a quarterback that we don't think is going to give us the best chance to win. And it still very well could be Deshaun. Just in my opinion, I don't think it should be based on a dollar amount. It should be based on skill sets and if they give the team the best chance to win. But either way, this decision you would like to see sooner rather than later. You don't want to rush it.
Right.
You don't want to jump the gun if you're not 100% certain. But the sooner you can make this decision, the more advantageous it is for the rest of the guys
bottom
on
line, gut feeling, start.
Okay, so we have a football discussion here. Now, I think a lot of people are missing the football side of this. But football is a performance-based sport. I remember I was speaking on AB, and I said, yeah, things are cool now with AB, but I'll wait and see how he does the draft. I'll grade him on that. It's a performance-based sport. Football is no different. Football is performance-based. So, to me, if you take a guy and you just put a guy as a starter based on money when he didn't sign a fresh contract, that could go against what the best decision for the football team is. Cody highlighted that. That's one of the points that I always said, when will people talk about performance? When will they talk about performance? At some point, this is a performance sport. The money is the money is the money. We broke down the money last week. At some point, it has to come to performance. As soon as you get to performance, it doesn't look the same. A lot of the arguments that people make for Deshaun Watson to start, I don't hear them say anything on the football field. And if they do say something on the football field, they bring up something that happened not in a Cleveland Browns uniform, which that's too far ago. Talk about the performance. Talk about the performance. That's what this is. This is a performance-based sport. What can Deshaun do? I know that a lot of people just look through the Cleveland Browns and say, oh, they're just bad. They always been bad. That's easy to do. But if you've been watching them, Selma Fudd knows this. Derek knows this. Rashida listening knows this. People who've been Browns fans for a long time, you know, we had offensive weapons when Deshaun Watson got here. We had offensive weapons when Deshaun got here. Deshaun couldn't do anything with the offense. Couldn't do anything with the offense. He couldn't do anything with the offense. He couldn't move the ball. He could have moved the ball with a better offensive line, a younger offensive line, more in their prime offensive line, way better run game with Nick Chubb. We also had Kareem Hunt in the backfield. So you got to go to what did he have and look at it on the football field. Get to the performance. Get to the performance. That's what people skip past. People skip past the performance. They skip right past it. And they just go money, and Haslam wants this, and Haslam has pride. And then what do? People don't box you in for good reasons. I always tell y'all this.